You step on a sharp piece of stone. It opens a cut on the bottom of your foot. Not a dramatic cut. No bone, no fountain of blood. Just a thin red line that makes you say something Stone Age. People probably also said, only with fewer vowels. You wipe it on the grass and keep walking. That may be the most dangerous part of the story. 6 hours later, the cut is full of dirt. Your foot is throbbing. The group is still moving because the water is somewhere else, and the weather does not care that you have a sore foot. Today, you would wash the cut, cover it, stay off it, and complain about it online. Here, there is no clean bathroom, no pharmacy, no antibiotic, and no little instruction sheet telling you when the redness has become concerning. So could one tiny injury really kill you in the Stone Age? Yes, but probably not in the way you think. First, we need to rescue ancient humans from one of our favorite fantasies. They were not made of wet paper. A shallow scratch was not an automatic death sentence. Human blood clots, skin closes, immune systems fight microbes. If every thorn killed a hunter, gatherer, humanity would have ended after the first blackberry bush. The Stone Age was dangerous, but it was not a video game where every pebble dealt poison damage. The real question was not simply, how big is the cut? It was, where is it? How deep is it? What entered it? And can you still move? A cut on your shoulder may be annoying. A cut on the sole of your foot is reopened every time you take a step. A small slice on one finger may stop bleeding quickly. A deeper cut across the hand can remove your ability to grip wood, carry food, make tools, or hold on while climbing. In that world, location could matter more than size. Then there is blood loss. Most little cuts stop bleeding, but a wound does not have to look enormous to damage a blood vessel underneath. If bright blood keeps coming and you cannot control it, the problem is no longer tomorrow's infection. The problem is the next few minutes. Ancient people did not need a medical textbook to understand pressure. Hands, cloth, hide, plant fiber, and tight wrapping can all slow bleeding. Knowledge like that may have been learned the expensive way, then remembered by everyone. If bleeding stopped, you reached the second enemy, whatever entered the wound. Open injuries can carry bacteria from skin, soil, dirty water, stone, teeth, or claws. A narrow puncture can be especially deceptive. The opening looks small, but contamination may sit deeper inside. Animal bites are worse. The animal does not need to eat you. It can simply leave part of its mouth inside your leg and let biology continue the attack. At first, you feel lucky. The bleeding stopped. You slept. You did not get eaten. Then the skin becomes hot. The swelling grows. Pain that should be fading becomes sharper. Maybe pus appears. Maybe fever follows. If an infection spreads through the body, it can trigger sepsis, a life-threatening reaction that can damage organs and cause confusion. Rapid breathing, shock, and death. Ancient people did not know the word sepsis. They could still know that a wound had turned bad. But infection is only half the story. The most dangerous result of your foot injury may be extremely boring. You cannot walk. Hunter. Gatherer survival involved constant movement, walking to water, collecting wood, carrying children, following animals, digging plants, squatting, climbing, balancing, and moving camp when the local food ran out. You do not need to be dying to become unable to do nearly all of that. Now imagine a broken ankle. It may not bleed at all. From the outside, it can look less frightening than a deep cut. But now you cannot put weight on it for weeks. You can survive the moment of the break. Surviving the next month is the difficult part. Someone must bring you water. Someone must share food. Someone must carry more equipment because you cannot. If the camp moves, someone must help move you. Your injury has become a group project and nobody volunteered. This is where archaeology plays a strange trick on us. Skin disappears. Muscle disappears. A fatal infection may leave little or no clear mark on the skeleton. We cannot count every person who died after a dirty cut because the cut usually did not fossilize. Bone is different. Broken bones can record healing. Some severe infections can alter bone, so the archaeological record often shows us the people who survived long enough for their skeletons to respond, and many of them survived a lot. Pleistocene human fossils include healed injuries to the skull, face, ribs, arms, and legs. Researchers studying early human trauma have repeatedly found remodeling around wounds, bone that had time to repair itself. That does not mean prehistoric life was safe. It means ancient humans were often very good at not dying after it became unsafe. One famous example is Shanidar 1, a Neanderthal who lived roughly 40,000 years ago. He had serious injuries and disabilities, damage around one eye, loss or severe wasting of the right arm, problems with his leg and foot, and a healed fracture that likely worsened his limp. Yet he survived into what was an older age for a Neanderthal. Whatever the exact causes of his conditions, he lived long enough for extensive healing that is difficult to explain without other people helping him. Then there's the person buried at Liang Tibo in Borneo. In 2022, researchers reported that this person had undergone surgical removal of part of the lower left leg as a child, at least 31,000 years ago. The individual survived another 6 to 9 years. Other researchers later argued that a severe childhood fracture might explain the bones instead. So the surgical interpretation is debated. But the part that matters here is not small. This person lived for years with a missing lower leg in rugged terrain. If the original surgical interpretation is correct, controlling blood loss and infection would have required extraordinary skill. Either way, long survival with limited mobility required help, food, water, cleaning, protection, and assistance. Moving through a difficult landscape, the first hospital may not have been a building. It may have been 5 people deciding to slow down. That changes the answer to our original question. A small injury could kill you if it damaged the wrong vessel, trapped infection, or stopped you from moving. But the injury was not acting alone. The real danger was the chain reaction. Cut pain, slower walking, less food, worse healing, fever, weakness, and eventually being unable to keep up. Break the chain anywhere, and you might live. Clean the wound, stop the bleeding, rest the limb, bring water, share food. Carry the injured person. Stone Age medicine was partly knowledge. It was also other people. So what tiny injury would worry me most? Not a paper, cut-sized scratch on the arm, a deep puncture in the foot, a bite that closes over dirt and saliva, a hand wound that keeps reopening, anything small enough to ignore, but perfectly placed to steal your movement. That is the trap. The injury does not need to destroy your body. It only needs to remove you from your normal life. Back on the trail, your foot is swollen now. The group notices you falling behind. An older woman makes you sit. She rinses the cut, presses something clean against it, and wraps the foot. Someone else takes the bundle you were carrying. Maybe they complain. Honestly, they probably complain, but they wait. And that may be why you survive. Ancient humans were not protected by modern medicine. A wound that is routine today could become catastrophic then. But they were not helpless either. They had observation, experience, wound care, and social support. The skeletons that healed are reminders that survival was never just about having a strong body. Sometimes it was about having someone willing to carry your weight. So yes, just a cut could kill you, but sometimes an entire group could keep it from doing so. Which would scare you more in the Stone Age, the bleeding, the infection, or realizing the camp has to move tomorrow?